All right. Good morning, Tiffany. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So I've got your resume here in front of me. You've applied to a patient care coordinator position of mine for a client located in Orlando. You have a great background working actually in the healthcare industry with pediatrics. So tell us a little bit about that position.
Yes, I used to work for a company called City MD. I started as an assistant manager, and then I became the site manager. At that point, I was in charge of scheduling. I was in charge of pretty much the day-to-day basis with the routines, making sure that our patients are being taken care of, that our workflow is efficient, that everyone is getting in at an efficient time and coming out at an efficient time as well. Meaning, we had 30 minutes to get a patient in and out of the site. So most of my job had to do with that, had to do with scheduling. Inventory was very important with medical records, as well as staying intact with profit and loss in the company.
Okay, understood. Now, what was your favorite thing about working in the healthcare industry? I mean, you were in there for about 4 years. So what was your favorite thing about working in the industry?
Honestly, it was just making a difference in every patient's life. A lot of times you have to put yourself in their position. They come in, they're upset, they're angry, they're in pain, and of course, it's a very busy industry, so we're tired as humans. But just seeing a smile on their face when they're leaving, knowing that they felt better, that we took care of them, that made my day.
Wonderful. Now, coming from the industry that you were in, I mean, obviously it was still healthcare, but now getting into plastics. So obviously it's still healthcare, it's still patient care, but it's definitely gonna be a little bit of a different speed, a little bit of a different reason folks are there. What brought you to this position? What was your interest?
Honestly, well, so I did work for an urgent care, but we also had a partnership with a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
Um, I'm pretty sure it's on a different level because he would come and do sutures and like, if someone had a very deep cut, he would come in. So he was a plastic surgeon. So I learned a lot from him. But I also personally have experience with plastic surgery. I've done liposuction and BBL, so I feel connected to it. I feel like I have knowledge in terms of the process and what you go through and then the recovery. And I think it's a great way to relate with your customers and make it a
Yeah.
little bit more personal.
I love that. Yeah. So being able to really put yourself in their shoes of the excitement, the nervousness, and just the process. So I think that'll be some great experience to bring to the table in addition to your, extensive healthcare background. What is the most important thing to you when you're looking for the next company that you're going to work for?
Um, what's important to me is a room for growth. I love growing in a company. I love learning and just, being able to give more by learning more in a company. I think that's very important for me. So the more I learn, the more I would love to grow within a company.
Fantastic. And then what medical software do you have experience with? I know that you're very well versed just from some previous conversations in Microsoft Office and Word and things like that. But what medical software have you had exposure to?
Um, ooh, ECW. It's
Okay.
one of them. And the other one, I can't remember the name of the other one too much because that was more related to X-rays and stuff like that. But
Okay.
ECW was the main one that we used in our company.
Okay, fantastic. And then how do you feel with payment processing? I know that you have a little bit of a banking background. So, in plastics, it's a little different than the urgent care. You're not having to deal with the insurance quite so much as just cash handling, financing options, things like that. So tell us a little bit about your banking background and how that would be relevant.
Yeah, so I did. I did banking. I started as a teller, then I became a personal banker. At that
Okay.
point, I was dealing with bigger numbers and more of the customer in their personal account. And then I became a small business specialist. So then I dealt with customers that had small businesses. I had a very close partnership with the financial advisor, as well as mortgage loaner. So I did get to learn a lot in those fields. They weren't my main field, but the partnership did allow me to get more insight in, hey, what kind of credit do you need? What do you need to do to get to that point? And just looking for things like how much are you saving? Just helping them plan out so that they can get a big purchase, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, or a surgery that they have to pay for.
Absolutely. Well, Tiffany, I think you bring such a well-rounded background to this position. You definitely have the temperament and the personality that my client was looking for. So I'm very excited to submit this over to them for consideration. And then we did talk a little bit as far as the next steps with a face-to-face interview. Typically, they interview after regular office hours. So is the 5:30 mark okay with you for going into a face-to-face interview?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. All right, Tiffany. Well, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get you submitted right now, and you will be hearing from me very soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope you
You,
have a wonderful evening.
you too. I'll talk to you soon, Tiffany. Thanks.
Bye bye.